Is the work world confusing? Congested? Are you just trying to find your way? There must be a light at the end of this tunnel. Well, there's a way to find your calling, to find that job you want and deserve, when someone will come up to you and say, "You're hired." Hi, I'm Steve Piazzale, a career and life coach, and welcome to You're Hired, a show about jobs and careers in which we answer questions such as, how do I find work that makes me come alive? How do I get that job I want and deserve? How do I take performance to the next level, maybe become a leader? Well, we're going to answer these questions and many more by having on each show knowledgeable, lively guests, and we certainly have one today. Before I introduce her, though, I'd like to invite you to check out my website where you'll find the 12 keys to getting a great job. You can sign up for my free career newsletter, and you can find out about the career coaching I do. Essentially, what I do is work with people one-on-one to help them get unstuck and build momentum towards achieving their goals faster than they would on their own. This usually saves time, money, a whole lot of stress, plus landing you in a better fitting job. That information is at www.bayareacareercoach.com. That's www.bayareacareercoach.com. I was getting excited about introducing Valli Bindana. Or is it Bindana?
Bindana.
Bindana. She's president and creative director of Creative Vistas. Is that right? It's plural.
It is perfectly right.
Yeah, and they take difficult concepts and make them really clear through advanced multimedia techniques. But she's also here to talk about finding your passion and following it to be able to, advance your career and make it your profession. She's very lively and an admirable person. I welcome her to the show.
Thank
Hello,
you. Great to be here.
So I always like to start out with, what do you do right now in the path you took to getting here?
Okay. As I said, I'm the president of Creative Vistas. I started this company, and Creative Vistas creates films, multimedia films, to simplify complex ideas, complex concepts. So whenever information flows from a highly technical source to a relatively non-technical audience, that's where we step in and create a film out of it and enable better communication and better understanding between the two parties. So,
Go ahead, and the path you took to getting there?
Okay, so the path, well, I myself have an advertising background. So I've always been on the creative side of things, creating ads and creating concepts and conceptualizing campaigns and writing scripts and stuff like that. I also shifted to a travel website for about 3 years. That was my passion at that time, writing and developing content about places and stuff. And took a detour and came back to making films here in the US. I came here about 7 years back, and I started this company about 3 years back.
Yeah, it's so interesting. People don't always take a direct path. You think at the end, oh yeah, they came out of it, but you took a path and you tried something else.
I was, hovering around filmmaking, making ad films and stuff, but then, I'm back to making films.
But it sounds like there was a thread through it, right? The creative
It is,
side.
definitely. I was always connected with communications in some form or the other.
Okay, so you've brought along a short little clip that's a sample of what you do. Can you tell us what we're about to see?
Well, lately we've been developing commercials. These are social messages for anti-tobacco campaigns. We have developed some of them which are about saving the environment or limit consumption, for example. So this one here is about anti-tobacco, and it's a 40-second commercial that is still to go on air, but this is the first time I'm going to show anybody.
Oh, fantastic. Okay, it's a first. Let's show the clip, please. I can see how it gives a message where the person gets set on fire and disappears.
Yes, because we discovered there were commercials about anti-tobacco which were not so entertaining and pretty scary, some of them, which is fine. You need to scare people to, prove a point that it's bad for you. But we thought it should be entertaining as well, and let people laugh at themselves at what they're doing, and probably, you know, hammer some sense into them. Yeah.
Well, hammer some sense.
At the same time.
Yeah, because it looked like you took the person away, but you brought them back, so it had a happy ending.
Yeah.
What are some of the other clips? I know that there are others you could have possibly brought. What are some of the other ones?
There was another one that I thought I should show. It was a patient education film we did for Kaiser Permanente, and it was a film on high blood pressure, effects of high blood pressure on a human body, actually. So that was a very powerful film in the sense that it has been tested out on patients, and in fact the people who were actually creating it, they got so psyched up they actually got themselves tested.
Wow.
So yeah, it was very, very powerful, and
so
it actually made people move and get themselves tested.
Might this be on your website eventually?
It is definitely on our website,
so
and people could actually go and take a look there.
Yeah, because we're going to continue to show your email address and or your website address so they can go there.
Yes, of course.
Let's talk a little bit about this idea of following your passion. You've done it. It seems most or all of your career.
I have tried to follow it right from the beginning, have been adamant at, you know, sticking to it and really following it through. The first thing is to realize what your passion is and then follow it through, and knowing if you have an aptitude for it. That's very important. You can't do without it. It's not just enough to have passion for something. I would love to sing. I would have a lot of passion for singing, but if people run away, then I probably should drop the idea of, you know,
so
making
how did you
that
figure
into
out
a profession.
your passion? I mean, did you just sort of know you were creative, or how did it, because a person...
It was way back when I was a kid. I used to write a lot. And it came very naturally to me. I didn't know it was good, but people used to say, well, wow, you've written very well. And I was like, really? Because I didn't put any effort into it. So that is when, and it was a slow progression. It wasn't a realization kind of a thing. It was a slow progression that this is what I want to do. Something to do with communications, communicating through a media is something that I wanted to do, yeah.
So you brought along a graphic. This is like a 5-step action plan for people that have either gone down a different path. This is something that I have friends and know people who are happy with what they're doing right now. I mean, they're successful. They're about 20, 25, not 20, but 25 to 35, 40, and they're happy with what they're doing. They have chosen a path sometime in their lives, and they're walking down that path. But somewhere there's a nagging feeling that probably this is not what I want to do all my life. And so for them, I thought there should be a clear-cut thought process for them to, you know, help them to change tracks and change professions and go back to what your passion was and follow that and make that your profession. Okay, so what I thought I would do is read the bullet points you brought along. We'll show the graphic to the audience, and you can comment on the bullet points.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so this is for following your passion. The first thing, it's a mysterious first one, the Wonder Years Dream. Sounds like a good TV show, the Wonder Years Dream.
The Wonder Years Dream.
Yeah.
But before that, I would just like to highlight why anybody should make their passion their profession. That is something that I just heard you ask. There's a beautiful saying by Mahatma Gandhi. He says, what a person thinks and what he says and what he does, if all these three things are in harmony, that person is the happiest on earth. So I thought...
Say it again so it sinks in for people.
So what a person thinks and what he says and what he does is in harmony, all these three things are in harmony, that person would be the happiest on earth. And I thought if you take that concept and apply it to this topic that we are talking about, it fits in beautifully. If I'm passionate about something, if I love doing it, if I'm good at it, all these three things are there, I would put in my heart, my soul, my every cell of my body and all my energies into it. And if all that energy is going into something, the result is bound to be positive. And there lies success, and there lies happiness. So that's the reason why people should, I think.
Okay. So how about the Wonder Years Dream?
Wonder Years Dream?
Yeah.
I would highly recommend for people to go back to thinking when they were 8 years old or 10 years old and think what was their dream at that point in time. If you ask me, I had a million dreams. I had a dream every weekend. So, but then you need to be good at it. You need to be very honest with yourself when you're thinking about this and to realize that when you're 8 years old, when you dream when you're 8 years old, it's like looking at a mountaintop and wanting to get there. And if you've climbed any mountain, you would know that when you walk towards the mountain, you start losing the vision of the mountaintop. You don't see the mountaintop. You start looking at the trees and the bushes and the rocks and all kinds of other things, but you don't look. The mountaintop is just a vision in your head. And if you retain that vision, very good for you. But many times people don't. There are many paths that they come across, and they take a different path, and there are many influences. And that's what I think teenage does to you. Right from 10 years old, the world opens up, and there are lots of influences. There are parents telling you what to do, and there are peer pressure, and there's media, and there's an IT wave coming in where people are making a lot of money, and then you think, probably this is what I should be doing. And then you have a bunch of friends who are doing all MBAs, and they're appearing for exams and stuff. And then probably I should be doing that. So you forget your dream. You forget what you wanted to do at that point. And if you have, then this is what happens when you're like 35, 40. You find yourself successful. You've studied hard. You've invested a lot of money in everything. You're successful, but still there's a nagging thought in your mind that probably this is not what I wanted to do.
Yeah, I was thinking that for some people it would happen a little later.
A little later, and it's never too late.
You know, like in college, you had a dream maybe of I could study anything. Because I think when I was 8, I would have wanted to be the center fielder for the San Francisco Giants, and I don't think that would have. But a little later, I knew I wanted to help people. But anyway, let's get on. The second thing is, no, it's not ridiculous. Is that about your dream?
It's about a dream. It's what you want to be could be ridiculous, but the whole concept of changing tracks anytime in life is not ridiculous. And I think people should tell themselves that and convince themselves of this thought that this is not ridiculous, because if they don't convince themselves, they'll never be able to convince their own people, and least of all the spouse. That it'll be very hard for the spouse to take it, or anybody to take it who are close to him. So yeah, it is not ridiculous. If anything, it's ridiculous that you're not doing what your passion is.
That's nice.
Yeah.
How far away are you right now, you say? It's the third bullet point.
So after you've convinced yourself, you need to put in all kinds of doubts in your mind yourself. And actually, it's like a reality check where you need to question yourself. You need to know if you're good at it. Where is it going to take you? How are you placed financially at this point? Will it take you through this whole process of changing your career? Passion could be great. It could be a very transient thing as well. But then you need to know where you are at that point. And it could be financial. It could be emotional. It could be mental. It could be anything. But it's a reality check where a person should know this is what he wants to do. Probably this is the point where he needs to make a decision about changing tracks. Yeah.
I have some clients, I don't know if this is exact parallel, but I have some clients that refer to their board of directors or their mentors, people whose opinions they trust, and they may go to them and say, be honest with me. If I really have the passion, do you think I have the skill for this or whatever it is? That honesty has to come through. You need to know that that you're good at it. You have the aptitude for it, and you'll be able to follow through and be successful in it.